Hello and welcome or welcome back. I'm Nicole, a cottage witch, and today I'm going to do a tag that I'm making up. I think I'll call it Tarot Curiosities or something like that. I'll put it below. Anyway, I'd been brainstorming this for a while of just things I wanted to know, decks I wanted for certain purposes. I wanted ideas of what other people use decks for certain purposes. And then I came up with the prompts for this tag, and then I forgot about it, and then Meg reminded me. So now I have to do it. And it's a rainy day out today, so I'll do it today. I'll put the prompts below if anybody wants to respond. I'd love to know other people's answers to these questions in no particular order. The first thing I wanted to know was your favorite purple deck. So I pulled out the Buffy Tarot for this because it really is very purple. And I have a weird relationship with purple because it's my favorite color, but for a while I thought it was too girly, like when I was younger. So I didn't wear anything purple or anything like that, and now I'm like embracing the purple. And I just need more purple things in my life. So if you know of any good purple decks, let me know. This one I loved so much, and it's Purple Glory that I edged it in purple, so it's like extra purple on purple. So that's the first one. And then a deck for the next prompt is, whoops, as I try not to make a mess, a deck for rainy days. And I'm some of these I'm not entirely convinced I picked the right thing, but oh well. Like, I'm not sure I have a prompt or a deck that is what I'm imagining as the deck for the prompt, and maybe it doesn't exist, and maybe it does and I just haven't heard about it. But the closest I'd come up with is anything from Three Trees Tarot, is that what they're called? Hang on, yeah, Three Trees Tarot. Look, it's a rainy day, and it is actually raining outside. So if you hear rain in the background, it's because there's rain in the background. Oh, and there's a sunshiny rainy day. Well, that's adorable. It is not sunshiny today, but I don't mind. We're getting a good downpour. It's coming up on time for our annual summer hailstorm, so that'll be around the bend one of these days, I think. Anyway, these particular cards are quite sunny, but you know, sometimes I just like a good cozy rainy day, and today is a nice cozy rainy day. So this is the deck I picked for that one, but I think probably any of their decks have a cozy rainy day vibe, except I'm not sure about the new spider one. I don't have that one. Okay, the next question was a deck that loves the mud. So okay, this might sound weird to some people, but I do a sort of journeying type situation where, is this one of the cards? Oh, I'm just, sorry, a little chaotic today. What was I saying? Oh yes, journeying meditation, however you want to view it, sort of thing. Where I go like into the earth, into the mud, and sort of am subsumed by it, which might sound unpleasant to some people, but is actually I find very comforting and relaxing. So, but also, it's not really, it doesn't really feel dangerous, but it feels very wild, you know, like back to, why am I getting pop-ups on my computer? Go away. Sorry, I've been distracted a couple times on this prompt, and now I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, this deck feels like it loves the mud. So, you know, if you're in your rubber boots on a rainy day and splashing through mud puddles or squelching in the mud, I needed a deck that felt like squelching through the mud. And then I didn't have one that fit that category, but then I saw this on Rachel's channel and thought, yep, this'll do for that. You know, YouTube might not like that one. But yeah, I love this deck. It's very earthy, but also kind of, it's got all the elements in a way, but it's very grounded deck. Oh, there's another one YouTube might not like. Yeah, look at that. I love this situation. Not entirely sure what's happening there, but I love it. Okay, and then my next deck, or my next prompt, I have two decks for that also appear later, because that's just how it worked out. So the next prompt is your Fiercest deck, and I've got two for that. One is Tarot Avatara, because, like, look at that. I love this deck so much. I'm glad I got it out again. It's my, like, ideal summer deck. Love it. But it is a bit ferocious. It's not such a gentle experience, which, you know, I'm okay with. You need a bit of both sometimes. So that's Avatara. And then the other one that I picked for this was the Witchiest Tarot. Because, like, look at that. Amazing. And also, so those are my Fiercest deck options. And then a deck to brighten up your day is the next prompt. And so this was my Sunshiny deck, which is the Tarot Arthurian. I can't remember who did the guidebook, which I've only slightly read because it's in French, which I can read now, which is very exciting. But I've only read a couple of the entries so far. And I can't remember the name of the person, sorry, but an Arthurian did the artwork for it, and it's just gorgeous, and it's so colorful and vibrant and alive that I don't know how this could not brighten up your day, even if you get some of the more, I don't know, quote unquote negative cards. It's still just gorgeous. Yeah. Gotta use this deck more often. Maybe this summer I'll use it more often. So that's the deck to brighten up your day. The next prompt is a deck for anxious thoughts or overwhelm. So on sort of the opposite end of the spectrum from Tarot Avatara, but a deck I love at least as much, is the Gentle Tarot. This is the little tarot in a tin, which is one of my all-time favorite decks. It's gorgeous. I love it, and it is very gentle, and it feels very smooth and soft. And so even the cards that have some of the harsher aspects of life maybe are still very, very gentle, and so it's a very soothing deck to me. For either the anxious moments or sometimes when I'm just like overwhelmed. And as much as I love Avatara, it is a lot. And sometimes I just can't deal with a lot. And so this is more chill, more minimal. It's not really like minimalistic minimal, but it's definitely calmer. And it'll always be, I can't imagine it ever not being on my list of favorite, like, all-time decks. So that is the Gentle Tarot. And then a deck to help you out of a creative slump, which is where the Avatara repeats itself. So I've had this on my shelf, on my desk here for the last couple of weeks, I think. 2 or 3 weeks maybe, I don't know, round about that. And so this desk is like, it's a multi-purpose table. It's my dining room table that's turned into my work desk. That's also where I do any like drawing and painting and all that sort of artistic stuff, creative stuff. So it's become a deck that's sort of out for that. I have this little stand thingamajig on my desk that's got a combination of witchy things and like erasers on it, which I don't actually use very much, but that's a different topic altogether. Anyway, sometimes I'll just draw cards for my creative practice, like sort of along the lines of a daily draw you might do for like, what should I focus on today, or what's the energy of today, or that sort of thing. I'll do that, but like focused on creative work. And this deck is perfect for that, for me. Might not be everybody's way of working, but it's, yeah. But I love this artwork. Like, I love Gabby Angus West's artwork, and I love Frida Kahlo's artwork, so this is like a very inspiring deck in that way. Look at that, Diego Rivera. And also sometimes, because I have chronic health issues, physical and mental, it's all very exciting. But I do like this deck because sometimes the energy that I want to be there is just not there, so then it's about finding a way to do the creative things that I want to do with the energy or lack of energy that I'm dealing with, which is a bit difficult. But I mean, on that front, Frida Kahlo will always be an inspiration, because she was in so much pain all the time, and had quite a good painting from bed contraption set up, which if you haven't seen it before, you should Google it. It was a good setup for her. Anyway, this is my deck to help get you out of a creative slump, which, I mean, to be fair, I could use a lot of different decks for that. And then my Witchiest deck, because I do love a good witchy deck, is again the Witch Sisters. So these are the two that came up twice in this. But like, look at that. Is that not the witchiest thing ever? Or that, the Ancestors one. I love that one. I love all the faces in here, and that she has a lot of really old faces. It's funny now that I've started drawing more portraits and things. The lines in people's faces are just fascinating and so beautiful. Anyway, slight tangent. Ooh, henbane. Love henbane. And crows. Like, this Seven of Swords might not usually be my all-time favorite card, but this depiction is probably my all-time favorite depiction of that. It's very much a journeying, like hedge riding sort of spirit flight, whatever you want to call it, sort of card. Which is this deck is what I use for that sort of thing often. Not for journeying into the images so much as just like reading about my, journeying goals and that sort of thing. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love this. And I'm not usually a portraits deck person, but like, that is just stunning. I love it. Ooh, and thistles. I love thistles. They actually, I collected a few thistles from my path the other day for a particular purpose, and now I've got a couple extras because, they come in handy. But I needed some of that thistle, like, boundaries, and for other people to get their act together energy. So they're very good for that. Okay, my next question was the most inventive guidebook. So sometimes most of the guidebooks I have, I've never read or I've skimmed through them and gone, yeah, okay. Like, it's just the meanings of the cards that I kind of already know that, like, sure. Is a review now and then a bad thing? No, it's fine. But also, you can only read so many little white books before you get bored of them. However, a couple of my all-time favorites and most original, I think, one of them is the Cantigee Oracle, because, like, look at this. This is so totally at random just because it's in the dead center of the book. The Luminous Brew. So it has a description. A cauldron made of moss, which sounds delightful. Maybe I should leave this deck out. Lichen from the apex of a mountain single drop of cave water. Yeah, actually all of that sounds amazing right now. It's got some notes and symbols and then guidance. But then it's also got as an icon, as a portal, for receiving gifts. And then practice, what you can, some sort of practice you can undertake on a full moon night. Is it a full moon tonight? It might be a full moon tonight. Maybe I should do this tonight. Okay. Interesting. And then a creative prompt, which is lovely. And then an ecological connection. Yeah, I've got to leave this out and do more of this because this is really fun. Like, this is one of the most original guidebooks I've ever read, I think. It's just so creative, and stick a card in there so I remember to do a full moon brew tonight, because I think it actually is a full moon tonight, or close to tonight. And then the other one that I really like is the Herbcrafter's guidebook, which I don't use this deck as often anymore because I've made my own plant deck with all the herbs that well, not all the herbs I use, but a lot of the ones that I use. And this one has a lot of plants that are not so much in my area, like black cohosh doesn't grow here, golden seal. Also, because golden seal is protected in a lot of places and endangered in a lot of places, like I'm not going to start using it. Slippery elm, I've actually got to find, slippery elm I think might be endangered too because of the Dutch elm disease. So I've got to find maybe alternatives to that, marshmallow or something. Anyway, but some of the plants I really like cattail and nasturtium. But, the point is, I like the guidebook. It's much shorter than the Cantigee, but each section has the description, but then also the crafting to give you ideas of how to bring the energy of that plant into your life. And it's got several options in case, in case some of them aren't accessible to you, like not everybody can walk in a pine forest. But most people can drink pine tea. That's probably possible for a lot of people. So it's pretty cool. Basket weaving class. That is on my list of things to do at some point in my life. Anyway, if you have favorite inventive guidebooks, like there's something that goes beyond the little white book, I would love to know. And then the next prompt is a favorite book for going beyond the tarot basics. So there are a couple that I've listened to as audiobooks. One is A Walk Through the Forest of Souls by Rachel Pollock. And then the other is Radical Tarot by Charlie Claire Burgess. And I like the Rachel Pollock one specifically because it's a discussion of tarot without being card number 1 means this, card number 2 means that. And Radical Tarot does a bit of that, but it does it from a community-oriented lens, which I love. And I find very unusual because most guidebooks and books on tarot that I've read are very individualistic, which is not always a bad thing, but like there's got to be balance with the community and community-centered work, I think. So I love that style of her writing, but I love Rachel Pollock's book because it's not this card means this card means this. It's just a discussion of the tarot, and if anybody knows of more books like that, I'd love to read them. One of the other books I got out that I love, kind of along these lines, is Read Like the Devil by Camelia Elias. She does not go through, well, she kind of goes through certain things mean certain things, and she's very, she's got a very sort of, I don't know how to describe her personality as it comes through in her books, because it's not like brash and domineering sound like harsh and are a bit too strong, but it's like leaning towards that sort of, she's very upfront, very blunt, very clear about what she thinks, and she's not messing around. And I love her style of writing. I don't agree with everything she says, but I love reading her writing. I've read her, I think her Marseille book and her RWS book. And this is the playing cards book, which I've only gotten a little of the ways into. But I will finish one of these days. But yeah, I love her writing style. It's so much fun, even if I disagree with her sometimes. But I want more books like this. Like, you know, I appreciate a good beginner book because, you know, everybody needs that at some point in their journey. But like, there are a lot now. There are a lot of beginner books that go through, and the Fool means this, and the Magician means this, and that's nice. But like, I want to, like, I don't know, dig my teeth into something a bit more, a bit juicier than that at this point in my sort of tarot journey. And then this is sort of random, not necessarily tarot question, but I wanted to know if you have a YouTuber who inspires your creativity. Because for me, like with the Tarot Avatara and whatnot, tarot and creativity are connected. And of course, there are a lot of tarot artists that I love, whose work I appreciate immensely. But the YouTuber who inspires your creativity doesn't have to be a tarot YouTuber. It can be any YouTuber who in any way inspires any sort of creative work. So I'm going to list a few off if you want to check them out. Orla Stephens is a sort of semi-abstract landscape artist out of Scotland and is one of my all-time favorite artists. I love her. Actually, hold that thought. I have a calendar of hers on my wall. I don't usually get calendars anymore, but I can't afford original work. So when she came out with this calendar for 2026, I thought, that's, yeah, excuse me, I will get this. Because look at that, like, it's so, that is stunning. It's just, her work is so inspiring. And she has a Patreon as well, where every month we go through, like, she'll come up with different things to focus on and different exercises and things. And I don't do the exercises every month because, honestly, me and strict schedules these days are not, like, unless it's for work or, you know, taxes, I'm trying to sort of go with what I feel like doing more. But anyway, yeah, her work is gorgeous. And then Zuzu's House of Cats, I'll link her below too. She actually, where was the email? I got a newsletter from her today. She has a great newsletter. And the subject line is why can't I say that word? Idiosyncrasies are resistance, which I kind of love. So in this newsletter, she goes through, like, the studio this week, what she's up to, what she's working on, what she's thinking about, if she's reading something or watching something, you know, this sort of thing. And this one section in her newsletter for this week is a return to a more idiosyncratic internet, which, yes, please, because most of the internet is not my cup of tea. But her website is kind of amazing. It's like a creative project all in itself. Like, some artists have sort of a gallery wall website, which, you know, is fine. Like, that's, for most artists' websites, that's what they're for. But hers is absolutely delightful. Also, she's got an absolutely hilarious scene called Send Nudes. And her latest YouTube video is called The Invisible Woman Strikes Back. She's just got so much personality. And, and one of her latest shows was Things Men Have Said to Me Instead of Hello, which you can have a look at because it's, oh my God. Another couple of artists that are really inspiring, particularly for just, like, loosening up and trying new things, are Helen Wells and Sonia Britton. They both post, like, joyous, colorful things they're doing in their sketchbooks these days. And it's just, I don't know. Like, I watch them and I'm like, ooh, I want to get out this colorful thing now. You know, like that sort of. There's sort of people you can watch if you're in a bit of a creative rut and need somebody to inspire you and give you a reason to get out your, you know, crayons and doodle or whatever. Just make something, you know. And there's a lot of, I don't know, destruction and devastation in the world. So I always feel like anybody who can inspire you to create something, instead of destroying something and bringing more negativity into the world. Like, I don't mean bringing negativity into the world in terms of like criticizing genocide. By all means, do that all day, every day. But also, we need moments of joy to like sustain us, right? And I think creating something is a way to deal with the harsher realities of the world, and maybe in a small way to try to counterbalance some of the destruction and some of the harm and devastation that's caused by wars and data centers and all else, all the other things that I could list go on for days about all that. But anyway, I will not. Anyway, those are some of the YouTubers who inspire my creativity, and I'd love other suggestions of people to watch, because sometimes, even if I don't want to create something myself, I want to watch somebody who is, you know, they're currently creating something interesting. So those are my tarot curiosities prompts, plus a slightly tangenty YouTuber prompt. But anyway, I'll list the prompts down below if you want to do them. I'd love to see any responses. So if you do respond to it, just tag me in it, and I'll come by and have a look. And yeah, I'd love to get some more suggestions for some of these prompts, because these are things that I use decks for often. So anyway, I'll stop rambling now, and enjoy the rest of this rainy Sunday afternoon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.